So this is going to be a little bit of a different video. This is a very spur-of-the-moment video in reaction to some frustration that I have run into from other people that are struggling through the Overwatch competitive scene. I'm a 3.1k peak diamond amateur coach. My name is Spilo, and I don't just coach Overwatch. I coach mixed martial arts. I also coached I coach personal training, personal fitness. I coached math all the way up to calculus for a long period of time. And I've spent almost all my life working with adults and children that are struggling to learn new things. And the more time I spend coaching Overwatch, the more I understand that there are such incredible similarities between improving at Overwatch and many other personal goals. And I think I might be able to offer some insight to help people deal with the frustration. You see, when we first start playing a game, when we first start doing anything, there is fun involved with it. That there is this is new, this is exciting, I'm improving and I'm learning and this is great. But inevitably, whether it's with fitness or anything else, we hit a plateau. When I first started lifting weights and working out, it was for high school football. I weighed 125 pounds and I took it upon myself to learn how to get bigger, learn how to get stronger, learn how to be more in shape. And within 6 months, I'd put on 15 pounds of almost pure muscle. And it was hard work, but the improvements came quickly. And that's when I hit my first plateau. And I would be working and working out and doing this and that, and I could not gain muscle, could not gain weight. And it finally hit me that I was doing things for a number. I was not working out so that I would be stronger and feel better and be able to do more, but I was working out because I associated that number, that weight, with improvement instead of the other way around, instead of saying, hey, that number goes up as I get better, right? And so I was changing my lifestyle to fit that number. I was changing the way I approach working out to fit that number rather than actually improving. And I changed up my workout routine. I changed up how I approached my workouts, and I mixed it up, and I started to have fun again. And I thought less about my weight, and I looked up advice, and I learned, and I improved again, right? And then I hit another plateau, and I had to stop, and I had to learn, and I had to research, and I had to stop focusing on that weight and just have fun with the training that I was doing, and I improved again. And every single inch of that mile was hard work. But I came to learn not just that. How should I be? Like, what's the best way to get bigger? What's the best way to get stronger? But I also learned that there are going to be those plateaus inevitably. And the best thing that you can do in those plateaus is to be patient and learn. And a lot of people, as a mixed martial arts instructor, changing gears slightly, very few people reach that black belt level. And every child and every adult that steps foot into that dojo, that could be a black belt. There is nothing, whether it's a physical or mental, there's nothing that separates or gives anybody a disadvantage coming into a mixed martial arts study. Anybody can be a black belt if they put the work in. But the difference between the white belts and the black belts are the ones that do put the work in and the ones that continue to work through those plateaus. They're fundamentally, there is a very insignificant difference between someone in great shape and someone who's in not great shape, except for the fact that the person in great shape worked and worked and worked and did not stop when they hit those plateaus. And coming from that angle into the Overwatch scene, when I first started placements, when I first started this, I would hit mid-silver, and then it was, ELO hell, and I'm good, and everybody else is bad. And what happened is everything was around that number, and that number wouldn't grow. And I felt held back by factors that were beyond my own. In fitness, it's I have bad genetics. I can't get to a gym. I don't have enough time. I don't know what I'm doing. I can't. I work and I work and I work out, but I'm just not getting better. But the problem is the second that we take the blame that can be put on ourselves and we put it on factors that we can't control, that's when the mindset shifts for the worse. And I can tell you the biggest tip that I have for anybody improving in Overwatch Competitive is to stop blaming anybody but yourself. And it would be disingenuous for me to say that there are not external factors, but you have to remember that every person that plays Overwatch Competitive deals with those very same external factors. Everybody who wants to become a black belt struggles with injuries, and they struggle with making time for it, and they struggle with times when they don't want to do it anymore, and they struggle with times when they're not seeing improvement with their sparring or their grappling. But the black belts are the ones that continue to work and adapt and improve, right? Not the ones that just magically don't deal with those things, but the ones who learn how to handle with those things. And to become a better player at Overwatch, you must learn how to do that. And that's not something that you can read in an article. That's something that you have to apply. That's something that you can learn, but you have to apply. But we have to be careful, because something that I've seen, especially in my fitness career, is people see goals and then they start working towards those goals in correct ways. For example, I see somebody that is desperate to lose weight, then they stop eating, or they start working out 2 or 3 hours a day, and they start making foolish choices in an effort to rush the process, and it doesn't work, and they build bad habits, and they hinder themselves because they frustrate themselves with the way they're approaching training. Now, Overwatch is different in that aspect, in the fact that you can, if you have the time for it, and if you really want to improve, you can spend a lot of time, but the similarities are that there are bad habits that you can train with Overwatch, right? We all know that that's the case. That's why coaches are a thing. That's why I do my job as best as I can, because I want people to be improving it, right? Mindlessly grinding competitive, making yourself miserable, hating the game is not how you're going to improve. We should always have a mindset, every single game, whether it's competitive or arcade, of improving at a facet of the game. Stop worrying about your SR. Stop worrying about winning or losing. Focus on what you're doing and go into every single competitive game and say, I'm going to improve at this, and then I'm going to improve at this, and I'm going to get those things down until it is completely second nature. I'm going to worry about using my ultimates in as good of a time as possible, and I'm going to work about where I'm positioned. I'm not going to worry about my teammates. I'm not going to worry about what they're doing. I'm not going to worry about if they're not following my instructions or listening to my callouts. I'm not worried if they're brain dead or idiots. I'm not worried if we have a thrower or a lever. I'm not concerned about that, because this is a road for me for personal improvement. And I'm going to do my job as best as I can. And I'm not going to worry about my aim. I'm not going to worry about my stats. I'm not going to worry about things that are beyond my control, beyond my skill level. And I'm going to worry about what I can control every single game until it becomes second nature. When I go into the gym and I want to improve, I don't go, man, I'm going to get huge biceps today. I say, I'm going to do perfect form. I'm going to keep my back tall. I'm going to have my shoulders pulled back. I'm going to get full extension. And I don't care if I'm curling 5-pound pink dumbbells. And I don't care if I can only curl them 6 times. I'm going to make those repetitions count. And I'm not going to worry about anybody else around me. I'm not going to compare myself to anybody else, because that's not how they got to where they are. They got there because they focused on what they had to do. And they did it correctly. And they did it again and again and again. The second you start going into things and you overwhelm yourself, and you frustrate yourself, and you blame your teammates, you are creating a mentality of ignorance. Because not only does it show me that you are selfish in the regard that you are blaming other teammates instead of yourself, but it also means that you're completely oblivious and unaware of what actually needs to happen to improve. I'm not a good computer game player. I'm not. I started when I had no experience with first-person shooters whatsoever. I started in low silver, and I climbed to gold, and I climbed to plat. And let me tell you something, it wasn't with a great mentality. I did not have a great mentality for 300 levels, at least 400 levels. And this is something that I'm still improving on personally. It was ELO hell, it was bad teammates, and they didn't know what they were doing. And that mentality not only inhibited my growth, but it made me enjoy the game less. Because in those games, I was not concerned about, man, I'm really working on these things, and I did a good job of that, I'm excited about it. It was, I just get unlucky every single game, and that frustrates me, and that makes the game not fun anymore. When you go to work out, and all you can think about is, in a week, I better have lost 5 pounds. right? And you step on that scale and the pounds haven't dropped, you don't want to work out anymore. You hate working out. It does nothing. It's a waste of time and it frustrates you. And that same type of concept carries over to Overwatch. My challenge, for those of you watching this video, is to take one or two things and focus on them in every single game and stop worrying about winning. Stop worrying about losing. Stop looking at the number on the scale, the number on your screen, and focus on what you can do better to make you a better player. And stop worrying about underperforming. You're going to have up and down days. One of the first people that I ever trained, it took her 5 years to reach her goals. And those goals have adapted and grown higher. And now she's reaching those new goals. There were times when she was injured. There were great periods of times where she could not work out at all due to injury and sickness. And all you can feel is that frustration of, I'm getting worse, I've worked all this time and I'm losing all of it, which is not the case. But she kept her mind on that goal, and she was patiently working again and again and again. Overwatch is a game, but like any other goal, whether it's getting better at a job that we do, improving at any sort of sport or activity, it takes a lot of time. And patience and focus on self-improvement and not on the coordination and performance of your peers is how you improve. Every single player should go into every single competitive game with a mindset of, I'm going to do my best, I'm going to have fun, and I'm going to think about one or two things that are in my control, that is my job to do, and I'm going to do them as best as I can. I may be bronze, there may be no comms, people may have no idea what they're doing, but I'm going to land my orbs as Zenyatta on the right people. I'm going to use my transcendence when the majority of my team is in need of healing. I'm going to work on making sure that I'm shooting at the right targets. I'm going to work on making sure I'm not too far forward. Choose one or two things and focus on those until it becomes second nature, and then move on. And constantly reevaluate yourself. My best advice to you is to stop taking advantage of the fact that it's easy to blame your teammates. It's easy to get frustrated and blame the system. Anybody can do that. But it takes a special person. It takes a black belt mentality to understand that everybody deals with those extenuating circumstances in life, and martial arts, and fitness, and relationships, and the way we deal with other people, and in Overwatch. Everybody deals with problems like those. The black belts, the warriors of Overwatch, are the ones that continue to improve and focus on what they have to do, and they don't concern themselves with dips or plateaus. They keep going on, patiently improving at what they are interested at and improving, and they take responsibility for their personal performance every single game. I guarantee you, if you do this, you will have more fun. Not only will you improve, but you will have more fun. Overwatch Competitive is a chemistry of so many bad vibes, people getting frustrated at each other and anger. But it doesn't have to be that way. It doesn't have to be that way for you. Be responsible for your actions. Be responsible and set a game plan for what you want to improve on. Not your SR. Not winning or losing more games, but what you and your hero can do better in every single competitive game. And you will improve faster. I guarantee you. You're going to hit plateaus. You're going to have dips in the road. But it's about how you continue to push through and how you continue to set good habits, how you continue to have patience. That's what will define you as a black belt in regards to Overwatch. So a little bit, just kind of spur of the moment. I hope this helps you guys. There are no specific tips. There's no specific things I can tell you can improve on with each hero. That's what coaching is for. That's what I do. That's what Jane does. That's what Iostex does. Many other more qualified coaches that you can get help from. But I want to make sure that everybody understands that a right mentality is probably the most valuable thing you can have in anything, not just Overwatch.